Covering it on Imus in the morning. Connell McShane here with you. The iMen's office today. Harry Houck joins us, former NYPD detective, Houck Consulting, in a live and developing situation out of Watertown, Massachusetts. Pictures on Fox Business are being shown courtesy of the local TV station WBZ there, and these pictures are live. There is a SWAT team on the outside of what appears to be a residential home in, again, this is Watertown, Massachusetts, I believe, and the SWAT team's outside that home, and the guns are drawn. Moments ago, shots were heard being fired. So they're looking, Harry, and thanks for joining us, by the way.
No problem.
They're looking for one bombing suspect who's still at large. Talked about the fact that the reports of Chechen background and all this kind of thing that's come in this morning. Supposed to be 19 years old. The other was killed. And from what we see, we don't know what's going on here, but from what you can see on television, for our radio audience, we can describe it. The SWAT teams are there. There's clearly something is happening here because shots were just fired a moment ago.
Right, exactly. Since the shots fired, I would tend to think that they had this guy surrounded. You know, these officers have, made a perimeter around that whole building, and they're saying in their mind right now, and believe me, I've been through it, you are not getting away. You know, they've got him cornered, and they are determined to get this guy today, now, if they can.
All right. Well, what goes through your mind then if you're a detective officer, SWAT team member who's on the scene at something like this? Again, we can't assume, because you don't know, that the person inside is definitely the suspect. They may think he is. We don't know. But you're looking for someone who's thought to be armed and extremely dangerous. What are the priorities?
Right, well, one of the first things you're going to think about is, you know, does he have any hostages? You know, is he somehow related? Does he know somebody at this location? Or did he go in and push his way into a house and he has the hostages now? And then we'll have a hostage situation going on right here. And you have to bring out the hostage negotiation team and try and figure that all out. But I would probably say it's pretty safe to say, you know, with the shots that were fired, you know, these police officers aren't going to pull up somewhere and somebody's just going to just randomly shoot at them. So it's we're probably safe to say that they purposed it, although it could be wrong, but I kind of doubt it.
All right, Harry Houck from formerly NYPD, now Houck Consulting, with us on Imus in the morning. Do us a favor, Tom, just take us off the screen on the TV simulcast and take the other shot full if you can. Even this way we can get a better picture of the scene there. And again, Tom, this is Watertown, right? It says Boston on the screen.
Yes, it's Watertown.
This is Watertown, a suburb of Boston. Pictures from WBZ of an active situation where shots were just fired a few moments ago. So when did the police know, SWAT team, the detectives, the federal authorities, when did they know that they have to move in?
Well, I guess as soon as they know there's no hostages in there. You know, that's something the commander on the scene is going to have to take that position on, you know, when to exactly move in or not. I think they want to probably wait him out if they can, because they want to get this guy alive if they can, so they can get information, see there's other co-conspirators involved in this attack. So it's probably a priority in their mind. Listen, we're going to get this guy. We're not going to get any more officers killed. All right, we don't want to get anybody else killed. All right, let's see if we can take him alive.
You're bringing up an interesting point about the investigation that's underway, because earlier this morning, or overnight, the first suspect, there are two suspects, suspect 1 and suspect 2. The pictures were released last night. One guy had a black baseball cap on, or a dark one. He was shot and killed. We know that now. The other had a white baseball cap backwards. The other picture of him had a hooded sweatshirt on. He is the one still at large. Because the first suspect was killed, does that change your priority in taking the second one alive?
Well, yeah, because, you know, we definitely want some intelligence information. We don't know if they worked alone. We don't know if they worked with somebody else. So it's very important for them to try and take him alive if they can. But he might not let that happen.
He might not, yeah, because, I mean, I don't know that what they were carrying on them. There were various reports about, you know, explosives and the like, but from what you can tell, the reports we've had, and I've asked this of a number of guests this morning, what type of people are we dealing with here? Are these trained professional terrorists? I know the Chechen background makes people think, oh, maybe they may have went to terrorist training camps, all those types of things that we don't know for sure right now. But from what they've done, the Boston, well, we know that are facts, the marathon bombings, the shootout overnight. What have you taken away from these two guys?
Well, I'll tell you, what I've gleaned from that is that, first of all, they know how to make a bomb.
Yeah.
All right, but they don't know how to get away. I mean, these guys, you know, once they left the bombing, they went and it was reported that they robbed the store and then they carjacked the vehicle. I mean, they had no way of getting out of the area, it looks like. It looks like they had no plan. So what is it? Were they planning another attack?
Right.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going through their mind. Sometimes we give these people a little too much credit for, you know, for having too much brains.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. Harry Houck, formerly NYPD, Houck Consulting, watching the breaking situation out of Watertown, Massachusetts, live on a television monitor here in the studio with us, and our TV audience can see it in real time. Those pictures are live from Watertown of we don't know exactly what we're watching, but we can only tell you what we see, and that's a SWAT team outside of a residential home where shots were fired a few moments ago as one of the Boston Marathon suspects is still at large and the other's been killed. That's where we are this morning on Imus in the Morning. I'm Conall McShane. Bernard McGurk's also here over at our radio studios. And Bernie, you have anything for Harry Houck?
Yeah, I was going to ask Harry exactly what he just alluded to, the fact that this was all precipitated by a robbery attempt at a 7-Eleven, which indicates that, as you just stated, they didn't have a plan. They're not that sophisticated.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's the first thing that I thought. Everybody was talking last night that these guys might be 1,000 miles away by now.
Right.
And, you know, which kind of tells me that these guys really haven't had any training. And, you know, they might have just done this on their own. I don't know what made their minds change to become jihadists. I know Chechens hate the Russians.
Right.
But as far as the United States, I don't think we've really had that much problem with the Chechens.
Right, they've been here for a few years, and it might not have been, as Wally Ferris told us earlier, the Chechen separatist movement that motivated them. They may have become radicalized to the jihadist movement while they were here. Exactly. Now, this is from Deadspin.com, Harry. The 26-year-old brother, the black hat dude, who was killed last night, his name is Tamerlan Sarnev. He was a 26-year-old, as I just mentioned, a 26-year-old competitive boxer. He went to Bunker Hill Community College. He was studying to be an engineer, but he had a YouTube profile, according to Deadspin.com, where he created a playlist to terrorism. And the photo gallery there features his girlfriend at the time. The caption reads, Tamerlan says his girlfriend is half Portuguese, half Italian girlfriend, and converted to Islam. She's beautiful, man. So, I mean, does that give you any insight into, again, the fact where they were coming from or what motivated these guys? Well,
you know, it sounds like, you know, these guys are both probably Muslims or, you know, because they are from Chechnya. And, you know, I don't know, as far as I know, were these guys raised in the United States? Do we know that?
No. They've been here for at least a year, maybe several, according to the reports we got this morning from Dagan and Fox News and everybody else. So, no, they've been here for a few years. Their family is, left Chechnya, stopped at Kazakhstan on their way to the United States, and that's the information we have.
Yeah, so, you know, what turned these guys? That's going to be a big question. You know, what made these guys turn them into terrorists?
There was the kid who's out on the run now, the 19-year-old. He had a Facebook page on which he posted he doesn't drink or smoke, and that he does not have a single American friend, and he did not understand them.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the dots are starting to be connected, but we don't know. We're still just reporting facts, and you can connect the dots.
Let's go back to that house for a moment if we can. Tom, do we still have the shot coming out of Watertown, Massachusetts?
We do, but the police are starting to push the cameramen back, so I think they think it's a serious situation, so they're putting reporters and camera people back to safety.
Are you hearing any of the audio that's come out of there?
I am. It's just the police officer saying, for your own safety, get back, get back.
Did you hear anything other than the gun? When did you hear the gunshots?
That was earlier. That was probably about 10 minutes ago.
But
one of the scanners, they think they had the media in the house, one of the places, and they're trying to move them out.
You haven't heard anything else since then, though, Tom, since the gunshots?
No.
Nothing on
no.
that? Right,
and they were in a bullhorn asking for someone to come out, but that was it. So they're still poised outside, and they're just pushing their press back.
Did the police return fire?
I don't know, Tom, do you know that? We're watching, Harry wanted to know, Harry Houck's with us here, Houck Consulting, whether the police returned fire when you heard the gunshots, or could anybody tell where the gunshots were coming from? From the house? Or?
We couldn't tell the source of the gunshots. So we didn't know if someone was shooting out of the house or if someone was shooting into the house.
All right, that's Watertown, Massachusetts. We'll be back there. When we return, Harry Houck will stay with us for a few more minutes as they search for one of the Boston Marathon bombers who is still at large this morning. The other's been killed, and the news continues to break. We'll stay on top of it. More to come.
The dress code of business.